The time is now 4:05 a.m. on Monday, April 6th, 2026, and I'm gonna do the ridiculous thing that used to bother me, which is the mirror, in the mirror, in the mirror, whatever. Myself reflected endlessly, my own thoughts. Oh, right. So, April 6th, 3:47 a.m., I wrote this down. Things I want to mention: the fat cop with the Irish brogue. I wrote this down, and immediately the next thing my phone showed me was a chubby Irish guy talking about words, teaching me vocabulary, joking with Officer John about him being a bad marksman, and dark humor and satire. So, this is a 2 hour long video that I accidentally recorded 2 hours of because I was dissociated at the time. My name is Dylan H. Randolph. I am also known as the clinician called Dylan, the critter called Dylan, the banshee of Ward Canyon, the Buddha of Braintree 2184, Ashkari, a bunch of other names because I've just been on the internet and had a lot of screen names over the years. For the last several years, I've been documenting my own recovery from a nervous breakdown that was officially, like, according to the federal government, I've been disabled since January of 2019. I'm trying really hard to put together a coherent project to present to somewhere as my doctoral thesis. So this would be, we'll call this episode 45 because I have a couple of other things that I want to post before I actually get to this one. But this will be episode 45 of my podcast, Let's Talk to Strangers. I'm going to talk about an awful lot of things to do with the police, the court system, how unjust and unfair the system is designed to be, the fact that police officers are encouraged to lie to people and break laws themselves to secure arrests. But for now, let's go ahead and see what the hell I was thinking about in this video from whenever it was.
Good afternoon. It's 3:08 p.m. on March 7th, 2026, which is a Saturday. I am a clinician called Dylan, also known as Dylan H. Randolph. The critter called Dylan is what I would have rather be doing. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Unfortunately, people insist. They simply insist upon fucking with me. I'm sorry. I would let everything else get stolen from me. Not that fucking cat. Not when it's this easy to prove. So, let's see. Critter called Dylan. I wanted to do stand-up comedy. I didn't want to do politics. It's politics. That's my future career path. Is that whole spiritual leader politician bullshit or martyrdom? Martyrdom's not option. Guys. Please don't kill me.
Let's just pause there. So I have what are generally considered psychotic delusions because I can imagine what might actually be real in the world, and I can tell the difference between what is real and what is not. Me potentially being assassinated for being a civil rights activist, that is plausible. I keep going on and on lately about how upset I am about Charlie Kirk and his assassination. And like I have unfriended people over this recently because I don't agree with the man's politics. But I absolutely think it is a fucking national tragedy that he was assassinated at all. Like the fact that we are still killing each other over differences in politics. I'm sorry, Americans, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves.
It's a really fucking dark joke. Right. So, against all rational people's legal advice, gonna keep speaking truth to power. Because as I explained to my lawyer, as much as I respect her judgment and I respect her opinion, I respect her as a person, she gets paid to participate in that system. She's on the defense side and actually did a great job, doing her best to get me out as quickly as she could. And as definitely, I got to read the paperwork she submitted, she's definitely doing her homework and doing her work for me.
So, a note on that. Multiple hospitals recently have assessed me for safety and determined that I'm fine to be in the community. And yet, the court wanted to petition to have me confined to a hospital for 4 straight months, 120 days, 4 straight months to evaluate me for dangerousness after numerous hospitals in New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts all deemed that nope, this person is fine to be out in the community. The Quincy District Court, I believe that was Judge Coven, wanted to have me locked up for 4 straight months so that they could assess me for dangerousness. To put a very fine point on it, it is locking me up that makes me potentially dangerous.
My other lawyer, as soon as I get the paperwork for like, here, this just proves that, that the witnesses in this the witness in this other case is lying, and also it implicates the Weymouth Police Department in conspiracy to commit a hate crime. We'll get to that in court.
So let's just comment on that now, because now that I've actually had an opportunity to read the reports from Weymouth, the fact that they withheld the name of the person who actually made the initial contact and the context for that is problematic. Because now I've been thinking it's this woman from Boston this whole time, when no, it turns out it's someone that I had pissed off at the bar within days of this happening, who decided to like stalk me on Facebook and call Weymouth police while I was live recording on a different page than the one that the Brighton police reported on. Like, that doesn't make their situation better. That makes it more, here's another white person who was pissed off at me for calling out the racism in Quincy and Weymouth. Like, another white person who has told me he wanted to be a cop at one point and, like, who was supposedly my friend. Now that person has decided to stalk me online and find an opportunity to call the police and tell them that they're concerned about something that I'm doing. Again, why call Weymouth if you're worried about Brighton, right? He knows I live in Weymouth. He knows I have an established relationship with the Weymouth police that I have consistently been referring to as a misuse of public resources and terrorism. Or at least if he wasn't completely wasted every single time I saw him at the bar and tried to talk to him about that, he might know. But so he decided to notify local law enforcement that he was concerned about my behavior in a park in Brighton. Again, if he was concerned about my behavior in a park in Brighton, he should have called the Boston police and not Weymouth. So Weymouth did what they should have done in that instance, which is call Brighton and tell them, hey, this person that we know to be whatever is in your park, go check it out. And they did. And the Brighton police officer, I only remember seeing Officer Hardy. I do not remember an Officer Killian interviewing me on that day, but I was very overtired. Again, I was sleep deprived. Sleep deprived. Not on drugs, not all whacked out and crazy on something else, sleep deprived, because I am not allowed to stay in one place and rest long enough. As a homeless person, I am constantly being frightened away from people, calling the police to report that I exist in their neighborhood. Where was I before I started getting agitated? Oh, right. I'm constantly agitated because if people can see me exist near them, I have to be afraid of them calling the police and reporting that I just exist near them. In this instance, Officer Hardy, who is neither a mental health professional nor a veterinarian, decided that I needed to go to a psych hospital because according to him, I was talking all over the place and not making much sense. Yeah, when I get the body cam footage, I'll be doing this with the body cam footage to point out, no, that was all perfectly coherent English. He just didn't want to understand what I was saying. Because I kept telling him, no, I'm just overtired. I did a marriage and family therapy session for a woman the night before whose mother was like actively trying to die in a nearby hospital, and they kept yanking her soul back to the earth by restarting her heart. I have been being terrorized by people, white people in particular, calling the police for completely unnecessary reasons, and the police just kind of going along with it. Like the first time I actually called 911 for myself, I got arrested for disorderly conduct for trying to get into a hospital. The police decided to tell the neighbors when Ames finally went along with signing the restraining order that they didn't want to fucking fill out in the first place. Because, yeah, that's not common practice for the police to tell the neighbors that there's an active restraining order. That's supposed to be a private matter between the family. It wasn't the family that wanted the restraining order in the first place. It was very obviously the next door and across the street neighbors.
Yeah, Quincy and not Quincy and Weymouth and Brighton conspiracy to commit a hate crime. Good job, guys. Good job. I've been saying for years, I'm just gonna go around and live my own life and expose the corruption in every police department and court system I possibly can, just by filling out the correct paperwork. Now that I've been in jail in South Bay, it sucks and it's terrible. I came out this time with a full plan. I got the whole plan for my suicide now. The location to leave the body was the last part. I figured it out. I got everything now. So if I ever decide, nope, I am done with this bullshit, I think I'm the only one that I've told the full plan.
So,
but yeah.
I'm tired of holding the phone up. I'm going to prop it up against this.
And it got me 2.5 months in jail. Well, between psych hospitals and jail, 2.5 months locked up. I was good to go after